So you've met somebody, but are they the one? We're going to go through 8 different things that you can check off a list to help you try and answer that question.
If you're into checklists and that kind of stuff.
Hey everybody, this is Faithful Marriage. I'm Deborah and he's Aaron, and here we talk about marriage and relationships and all that kind of stuff from a Christian perspective. And today we're answering the question, how do you know they are the right one for you?
So, starting at number 1, the first thing is, spiritually speaking, you need to be equally yoked.
Yep.
Now, well, there's a scripture that we're going to actually read because it's important. It's actually very specific, but we're going to extend it out just quickly. It says in 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 14, it says, and you probably know this already, but we're going to say it, "Be you not unequally yoked together with unbelievers? For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion has light with darkness?" That's what it says in the verse. And we can easily say, well, that's to do with a person literally trying to get together with an unbeliever. But it's actually further than that. What if...
That's sort of like the obvious
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
That is a thing though.
Yeah, that is a thing. For
so
definite.
you could meet someone, if you're a Christian, you meet someone and they're not a Christian. Literally just, it's quite, that
It's
text
quite
is
plain.
quite clear. There's
It's
no
quite
metaphors there.
Right. But the further extension of it is within your belief. Mm-hmm. Are you equally yoked? That means, are you aligned together? Do you have a similar... Remember, we're talking about God's kingdom here. So, are you equally aligned in kingdom work together? Are you equally aligned in your ethic? Are you equally aligned in your doctrine? Are you equally aligned in your morals? There's all sorts of things to be equal or not equal,
Yeah.
balanced or not balanced about.
It's not just like, are they Christian or are they not Christian?
No,
Because
it's way further than that.
the thing about like working is that like one person can be like, yeah, I'm gonna do everything I can, like physically work. We're literally talking about work. We're not talking like a 9-to-5 job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you doing in God's kingdom work-wise? And one person, like, yeah, I'm gonna spend all my spare hours. I'm gonna be at church. I'm gonna be working. I'll be like youth pastor. I'm gonna be such and such. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And the other person's like, yeah, I'm gonna go on Sunday morning, and I'll maybe hit prayer meeting sometimes.
Yeah, that's
And
not
that kind of thing, you're gonna at one point it's gonna be a clash.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be equally yoked in your service, and not just in your like belief.
And
as well.
exactly. And to be honest, part of the reason why that's number 1 is because that same theme will come up again and again and again on all sorts of different ones.
Yeah.
So, on to number 2.
Yeah, something that is important is that you don't have to change yourself for
Yeah.
the other person. Now, I want to put a provisor in that because let's all be honest with each other, okay? When you first get with a person, you change yourself just a little bit because you don't want them to see all of you crazy. You don't want them to see all of...
Are you letting them see your best self?
Yeah, you want them to see that, like, the nice part. When we first got together, I wouldn't eat burgers in front of him. Ladies, let us know in the comments if there's certain food you did not eat in front of your men.
I'm telling
right?
you.
Because
But
I didn't eat.
But I bet the guys didn't care.
He ate all the burgers. He just went for it. But me, I was like, yes. I remember one specific day we ended up having McDonald's because we were going for a walk and we were just getting something quick. And he's there with a burger, and I'm like, I actually really wanted a burger, but I didn't. I got chicken nuggets because it was more ladylike. So I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that everybody changes himself a little bit in the early stages, but there should be something core about you that you're not changing for that person, and not like if it's like an immoral thing that person's asking you to change, well then that's something that probably should be changed anyway. But
Yeah.
if it's just like part of your personality or something that you're interested in, and they make you stop, like for example, for me, I really love history. If he like said, I don't want you looking at that stuff is irrelevant, that's not the truth. But like, I'd be like, this would be alarm bells for me. Things like you shouldn't have to get rid of your interests for that other person.
No.
You shouldn't have to stop seeing your friends for that other
No.
person. You shouldn't have to change all these things about you for that other person. That's what I mean about them accepting you. Not like if things aren't right and that you should challenge each other. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Number 3. do they respect your boundaries? And the one that people straight away think about is physical boundaries, of course.
That's the thing.
And it applies, especially you're setting yourself up for the rest of your life, possibly, with this person. So, physically, of course, you know, before marriage there are certain things, but within marriage, there are also certain physical boundaries that this other person is not necessarily comfortable with. That's a big deal, and that's a conversation for later on, really. But still.
Yeah, but if before you're married, that the person is already not accepting your boundaries, then what makes you think they're going to accept your boundaries when you are married?
Exactly. So it's a physical thing, but it's also emotional. It's also, for example, conversational. There is each person has a limit on how far they would go on any particular thing, and so your life partner, your spouse, they need to also respect your boundaries as well as their own.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Are you attracted to them? This is the thing. Everyone likes to ignore this part. People like to ignore. They're like, don't get me wrong. Spiritual business. So obviously that's like the top.
That's the top.
But if you're spending your rest of your life with this person, personally, I mean,
I would prefer to not be unattracted.
Yeah.
You know, exactly. So.
But it is a thing. Are you actually physically attracted to them? Like, do they make you like, ooh, hello? Like you're allowed to be physically attracted to them. You're allowed. You have permission.
It's rather important, baby. You know. It's important.
Yeah.
Number 5. Can you actually have a conversation with them that's more than hi and are you alright?
How many siblings do you have?
A lot. A lot.
He has so many. I have one.
Oh man. So in terms of practice talking, I've got quite a lot of practice of talking.
But
my dad's a pastor, man. I'm a genuine out and out PK. So there's loads of practice of talking in my house.
So much talking in his house.
Wow.
I love them. I actually do. I love them all. But
nice recovery.
no, I didn't. That sounded like I was recovering. I actually do love them all. I'm blessed with really nice in-laws. I actually love my in-laws. They're brilliant. But
yes.
like, you actually need to have a conversation. You need to be able to have a deep, not just like this sort of surface level, nice, how's your day? But like, can you go into some deep stuff with this person?
Yes.
Are you happy and comfortable to make yourself vulnerable conversationally with this person? It's so important.
Yeah, because you'll remember, this is your lifelong spouse, possibly, we're talking about here. So, you know, you need to be able to actually build each other up, encourage one another, and challenge each other, and guide each other as you go along.
Number 6, are your friends seeing alarm bells about this person?
It's a good question, really.
If your friends are truly your friends and not just like acquaintances or people that just happen to be in your life, but you would truly call them your friends. If for them there are alarm bells about this person, if you trust your friends, then that's something that you need to consider. And not, if you trust your friends and it's not like, they're not like jealous people or they're not anything like that, because let's face it, some people that can be an issue for people are dealing with, but you should, if your friends are having alarm bells about this person in your life, then that's something that you should really consider thinking about if you're trying to work out if this person's right for you, like lifetime wise. Because if they're your real friends, they'll want the best for you. So.
And they may know you a lot longer than your potential spouse has known you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty critical. People that you can trust, if they're seeing something that you don't see, listen to them. But keep your eyes open, you know, because sometimes they aren't seeing right either. But nevertheless, if you've got trusted people, then listen to them. Okay. Number 7. Are you both bringing the Lord into your relationship? That is a big deal, and there is a reason for it. And I'm going to read something just quick as well from that one. It is from Ecclesiastes chapter 4, and it's verse 12. And it says, "If one prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him, and a 3-fold cord is not quickly broken." So, okay, we can take one verse out of loads of verses and all of that stuff. That's true. But when it's applied to marriage, the key critical component there is marriage is a reference to the relationship that God has with man. Let's look at just quickly how God has a relationship with himself. God is a Trinity, and so the two of you, but bringing God into the marriage, that's a Trinity. The two as a pair, that's a good thing, but it's an incomplete Trinity. But a threefold cord is not easily broken. So the reason we refer to that is, of course, if you bring God into the marriage and you both have your priorities right, which goes back to our equally yoked thing, then if your priorities are right with God at the center, you've got a strong marriage. You know, it's really important that you have that real connection to the God of the universe within your marriage. Critical. So that's number 7. Number 8.
Do you guys want the same things? Do you want the same things? Because
I want a burger. Joking.
I don't mean like like a lifetime is a long time, and no, people don't necessarily want to ask the question, or they do want to ask the question, or it can feel awkward. But if you don't actually want the end thing, and I don't just mean like rapture and stuff like that, I'm the same earthly things,
yes.
right? So do you both want kids? Do you both, like, maybe one of you wants that sort of typical suburban life, but the other person wants to travel the world and, you know, live out of a school bus or something. I don't know. These big things. Do you both want the same big things?
Because this is not just life goals now. This is inadvertent targets in your life, isn't it? You're going to work towards it.
It's sort of. It can be. Sometimes it's not nice conversations, because if maybe you've ticked all the 7 boxes, and you've got to this one, but then you don't want the same things.
Challenging.
It's difficult. It's difficult. It's difficult, and they're conversations that you need to have. They're not things that you can sort of just pick up every now and again. Some of these ones you need to have deep conversations. And in terms of things like suburban life or travel the world or whatever, yeah, okay, those things, people can change. Like this guy would never, my million years thought I could take him camping. But I managed it full time.
I still don't want to go.
I don't think we're going to do it yet. But that's not right. The point. So little things like that can change, it's true. But big things might not be able to change. So you need to have those conversations to work out if actually there's things that you're not going to budge on.
This, I hate to say it like this, but some people would call this make or break type conversations.
People, it will be make or break.
And well, that is a reality, isn't it? Some of these things are so fundamental to, you know, who a person is and their outlook on life. You have to have outlook that is at least similarly aligned. If they're not aligned, you're not aligned with that person. So, you know. It's
also like if there's things that you disagree, like they're things that you want differently. How much are you willing to compromise?
Yeah.
On those things. I'm not talking about like compromise on doctrine and stuff like that. I'm not talking about those things.
Compromise on that.
I'm talking about things that you want. Are you willing to compromise? And how much is that person more important than the thing that you want? But these are things that these are questions that you're going to actually have to answer. If you're watching this video because you want some advice, you need to go and have those conversations with your partner.
Yeah. So that's it for this week, guys. If you want to know if the love languages are useful or not, click the video that's coming up. Bye!
Bye!